In Bangalore, when Thomas Friedman was sitting in the conference hall of Infosys, which looked like any other conference hall of a MNC, but just in contrast to the chaotic roads outside with sacred cows and auto rickshaws, he had a sudden epiphany when Nandan Nikhileni suggested to him that there was leveling of playing field at all levels of development. So, this leveling of playing field suggested to Friedman that the world is flat or being flattened. Good morning, learners. Today we have Professor Rao with us to explain the three phases of globalization. So, Professor Rao, you explained us what globalization is and the essential characteristics of this process. Can you tell us when did this process actually start?
Some scholars explain globalization from the point of view of modernity. Some scholars explain from the point of view of the economic globalization. Some explain from the point of view of the post-industrial world. But one of the commonality of the globalization is interdependence, connecting the people, countries and the world together. That's what for me is what the conversation in the Infosys, where there's a level playing field which globalization is attempting to bring together.
So this process of globalization, has it been uniform ever since?
I don't think it is a uniform because it is specific to region, specific to people, it's specific to several other cultural, social, political, economic factors. But one thing globalization is attempting to bring is that commonalities of connecting people together.
Can you tell us more about the three phases of globalization?
Let's begin with what Professor Biederman, a very eminent political theorist, attempted to explain globalization. He explains the first phase of globalization is 500 before Christ to 500 Christ era, where he looks at this is an era of antiquity. Professor Biederman is right. He looks at the initial phase of globalization. Maybe it may not be proper to call that as a globalization, but that's where civilization started coming together. Second phase of globalization, Professor Biederman mentions about 1500 to 1770. That's an age of exploration, age of colonialism, where the countries, those who are already as an established powerful nation, started exploring, coming out of their countries and setting up the colonies all over the world. And the third phase, where Professor Biederman mentions about, is 1850 to 1914. That's again as an important phase all over the world, which is an imperialism.
So, can you tell us about Friedman's three phases of globalization?
Yeah, Friedman, another eminent journalist, he explained globalization in the three phases. He points out the first phase where the Columbus started exploring the new modern United States of America from 1492 to 1800, and that's where he says the first phase of globalization. Second phase of globalization is from 1800 to 2000, where the modern development, colonialism, imperialism, democracy, modern nation states started coming up. The third phase of globalization from 2000 onwards, that is the contemporary globalization. So Friedman attempts to explain the globalization in these three phases.
Professor, can you explain why there is such a diversity in globalization discourse with regard to time frame?
Diversity bound to happen in the globalization because the time frame each scholar is attempting to either to go back from the antiquity or from the modern nation state or from the development of modern trade and commerce, development of industrialization. So there is bound to be these differences in the explanation of the phenomenon of globalization.
Professor, is there any literature from Global South on this globalization discourse?
Yeah, the eminent jurist, Professor Upendra Baxi, explains globalization as a third world scholar and a jurist from a different point of view. According to Professor Baxi, globalization, the first phase of globalization as explained by Professor Upendra Baxi is the colonization. And that is the first phase what we could see, the world in rudimentary form coming together as in search of colonies and markets. The second phase of globalization is the establishment of the United Nations, where we call as a globalism. There is a true globalism where the countries are the nation states coming together and establishing the United Nations in 1945 and then developing international standards, all the countries coming together, whether it is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948 or International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, International Covenant on Social Economic Rights, and again looking at how to develop a uniform international standards for protection, promotion and safeguarding of the human rights, whether it is with special reference to the women's rights, whether it's special reference to the children's rights, whether it is racial discrimination, whether looking at the indigenous people, all these international standards, articulation and development of the international standards in the United Nations, where for the first time all the governments all over the world sat, discussed, debated and drafted, and that's the true globalization where they started creating a uniform standards in the area of protection, promotion of human rights. And the third phase of globalization, as Baxi points out, is a contemporary globalization. The third phase of globalization is where Upendra Baxi mentions about the contemporary globalization, where in the Indian context we can look at from the post-1980s, where the first phase of new economic policy reform started coming up. And we could see from 2000 onwards how these economic reforms, whether in the context of the trade, commerce, intellectual property, international commercial arbitration, all these started emerging and it has an impact, and that has really brought the world together and countries together. The development of information communication technology also has facilitated these countries coming together. So if you look at from Professor Biederman to Friedman and Professor Upendra Baxi, we could see some of these globalization phenomenon has been properly explained.
Thank you, Professor Rao, for explaining the three phases of globalization. So learners, we will also discuss Professor Bakshi's conception of globalization in detail in the subsequent weeks to come. Thank you.
Thank you.